Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Thursday. It's April 6th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And just a reminder, tomorrow is Good Friday. No trading tomorrow. Of course, I'll take the day off. We'll get a long weekend. I'll be back here Monday, but I will be taking off all of next week, Tuesday through Friday of all of next week. So no chart lessons next week. But I will do one Friday. I'm sorry, on Monday, not tomorrow. There's no trading tomorrow, so I will do one on Monday, and then I will be gone Tuesday through Friday, so no chart lessons the rest of next week. So just a heads up on that. Um, Otherwise, let's get to today's chart lesson. Here's a look at our daily chart, and you can see we had what looks to be somewhat of a reversal day here. We could not breach this high here, so we'll see if we get any follow through tomorrow or if this was just kind of a little consolidation day. Um, we did relieve quite a bit of the or some of the overbought conditions. Now we're down between the kind of gold. Actually, it looks like we're between the green and the purple. We got down to the gold almost, so we did relieve some of the overbought conditions that we were seeing. So a little correction. We could go higher again now. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, what tomorrow, or actually it'll be Monday. We'll see what the Monday brings because no trading tomorrow. But this could just be some short covering going into the weekend, the long weekend with a holiday. We'll just have to see. So it just kind of looks like some sideways action almost. If we'd have broken higher here, I'd say there's a better chance we could go higher, but we could just chop sideways or even continue lower here. We'll see what happens. So these daily charts just creep. They're very slow compared to the intraday chart, and they're a little harder to read because of that. Because we could get all this in 15 minutes or so on a regular chart, 15 or 20 minutes, where this is 2 or 3 weeks worth here on the daily chart. So they move a lot slower and things set up a lot slower, and you have to be a little more patient. So but there's a look at it. We like to look at this chart just because it gives us an idea when we get it in overbought and oversold territory, and it gives us a longer term view of what prices may or may not be doing. But today didn't give us many clues other than we could push higher again. So anyway, let's flip over to the 2000 tick intraday chart, take a look at it, go through the trades, and we'll wrap this day and this week up. Okay, here's a look at our 2000 tick chart, and you can see we sold off early this morning, made a little triple bottom, rebounded. It looked like we were just going to go sideways until we made a little double bottom here and rallied, and that rally lasted up till about lunchtime or so, and then we just chopped. You can see the trading really slow down up here, and everybody's leaving and gone and leaving early, and there's just not much. There's not much happening those last 2.5, 3 hours. It's probably 2.5 hours there. So the last 2.5 hours, there's no volume whatsoever there. Everybody's just packing up and going home since there's no trading tomorrow. So anyway, there's a higher level look at it. We'll zoom in here and we'll go through the trades and we'll wrap this day. Okay, here we go. 7 o'clock started right in here. That's, I always start at 7 o'clock because that's when I start trading. It's pretty safe to trade from that point on. And a lot of times this first hour and a half or so, there's some decent trades here. And a lot of times you'll catch your one trade there and maybe catch a runner on. That may be all you have to do today, and you're through before the day even gets started good. So I love to trade that first hour and a half before the regular session open at 8:30. So don't be afraid to trade that. I wouldn't trade much earlier than that. The market usually starts moving about 6:30 to 7, somewhere there and there. So 7 o'clock's a good safe time. So just keep that in mind. But 7 o'clock came right here, and we did have this news item at 7:30. So by 7:15 or so, you wouldn't want to take any new trade. So that kind of blocked this point off right in here. And the first trade I felt was worth taking was this second entry short here. We broke higher. Notice the new low, and you get a first. Let me just move this out of the way a second. You get a first entry, and then it tried to go higher and turns. And I don't know that I don't know if I'd go short down here. Maybe you still do. I like taking this one on the engulfing bar because it is a failed second entry. Technically, it's not a failed second entry long. Um, it's just a second entry short. So um, this really feels like all one leg down, or maybe two legs in a single leg, and then a little two-legged correction is what it kind of reminds me of. And so on this second entry, I like going short. And I don't know if I would wait here, but I like. Um, there's no reason you really couldn't trade this one as an engulfing bar and just go short right here when the second entry triggered. I kind of that's pretty much how I would play it, and so that's the way I would leave it. And you're probably okay to go short down here as long as you got enough room to get out. And it was kind of hard to know if this was a midline or if the line was over here. And I think it was more like this right here. Um, so I think you had plenty of room to get out, personally. So, and then you get a little second entry short here with a hidden second entry. If that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. It's more advanced. If it doesn't make sense, you shouldn't be worrying about that yet. This is for more advanced traders. There's a little hidden second entry, so maybe you take that. And basically, you got a leg up, turn down, second leg up. And so if you went to a slightly smaller chart, you'd see a sure second entry there. Now, I don't. That doesn't mean you start looking at smaller charts or bigger charts and looking for second entries that you can relate over to this one. No, that's not what that means. You need to be a really skilled chart reader and you need to understand what's going on before you take a trade like that. So if it doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it and don't start looking at other charts. You need to learn to see everything about this. Our price action is in this chart. There's no reason to look at a smaller chart and a larger chart and to go back and forth. You can learn to see it all right here. It takes practice and it takes hard work, but you can learn to see it. And then once you can, it makes it so much easier than lining up a bunch of charts and going back and forth and getting distracted and one chart leading you astray over this way. You just need to see it all right here on this one chart. It'll all make sense. And that's the preferred way to trade. So keep that in mind. Anyway, that's a great move. Probably you catch a runner there most likely, and you get to ride this all the way down. You do get a break here and a couple legs to a new low, and then you make a triple bottom here. Um, I like going long above this bar, hoping that we're catching a bottom. Notice you got a triple test right there. Big bullish bar. It broke lower first and turned up. You might I wouldn't even have a problem trading that on the engulfing bar. Actually, that'd probably be the preferred way to trade that because that's a trap. And you can see how it shoots up here. When it broke out of here, it really all the shorts had to exit. And then it quickly comes back and gives you a second entry long on a breakout pullback. If it breaks above that, you're probably going to retest this high, so there's plenty of room for a scalp. There's even another second entry here, but that looks a little congested. We're not back to the trend line. We didn't get back to the highs. We're kind of in no man's land. That does mean we could go higher yet still, since we haven't reached the upper highs, but sometimes you just don't get back up there, and that could be a sign of a weakening market. So it could break higher here and turn back down and trap you. So I think that's better off just skipped. And we actually get a break here. This is all two sideways in here. And finally, you get another triple test. It looks very similar to this one. And so I like going long there again. It is right into the midline. Of course, this one was too. But we'd made a few highs across here and hadn't gone higher than that. But you are expecting prices to try to retest the high on this channel here. So there's a good reason to suspect that after a triple test with that big a bar that we're going to maybe go higher. It doesn't happen. You actually end up getting two legs down and then going higher. So that's the problem. A lot of, even though you're expecting a new high here, it doesn't mean it's going this time. So you need a good setup and you need a good read and so forth. And this one's a little iffy. It is somewhat of a repeat pattern. There are reasons to expect prices are going higher there. So maybe you take that trade. I marked it green. It's a little aggressive. It actually turns down here, and you might look at this as a failed breakout, but that just looks a little congested. Not much room back to the EMA in case we're going higher there. So I don't see anything here. But now you got another leg down, then you get a break here. And notice there's two legs in there, so you would expect that, hey, it's possible we can get a measured move here. And we actually get much more than that. But we get a break, and then we try to go higher once, twice, and this actually breaks higher and fails. Um, I like going short. That's actually a second entry short again there, too. It's a first entry and then a second entry. So actually, I take that back. The first entry triggers here and the second entry triggers on this bar. Let me zoom in there a little more. I was leaned back there and I missed that. Second entry triggered here. This was a failed second entry long. That's why I like that one. And of course, notice this range here that we were kind of in, and the measured move was right here. We moved exactly that amount, and then we turned down off. So this is probably more of a midline, and this is the low of the range in the end. We bounce out here, but I don't see anything. You can't get long in all this sideways stuff here. Uh, all this confirms this channel. This one's tempting. There's another hidden second entry in there. It's a little sideways here, so if you went to a smaller chart, you may not. I'm assuming you'd probably still see it, but maybe you'd think about that trade. If not, there's a second entry here, but it's right into the highs. So then, of course, you get another second entry here, but that's congestion and two inside bars. You can't enter over that. And this is why, because sometimes it turns back and makes a new low. Even though you probably could have scalped out of that, it's not worth risking. And this one's tempting, a little double bottom there, but I think you need a second entry or a failure or something, and you just don't get it. It just takes off. And again, you get two legs down, but that's a very neutral bar to be taking a second entry on. High or low here, but not a very good bar. Again, signal bars doesn't really qualify. And then all of a sudden you get a failed second entry short. It's probably going to trap people, and you can see when that takes off, it rockets straight up real fast. So that's a quick, easy scalp. You could almost argue for that to be blue. It's not. We're not looking for a reversal here. We're just looking for a continuation. So we're treating this. This is more like a continuation failure than a reversal failure. A reversal we're looking for at important highs and lows. And here we actually would be looking for a reversal in the other direction since we've had a break in new high. So this would just be more of a continuation pattern. And there's a difference between them. So again, this is a more advanced trade. If none of that makes sense, don't worry about it because it's far too above your head. You need to concentrate on the basics first. So, and then of course we just start working sideways here. We're finding resistance up here. But notice you get a 1, 2, a triple test with a nice signal bar. I like going long there. Quick, easy scalp. That's about all you get. And then we run back to the top. And we just kind of chop along up here. But notice you finally make a new high. And then you try to go higher once, twice, and it fails. It's a little congested here. But this is a range. And so you would expect prices to go at least to the midline and probably to the other side. I would not trade this one on the engulfing bar because of all that congestion, but when this closes, I like going short right there. That's a quick, easy move, and you just kind of chop sideways back. You move up a little bit, but it's more sideways than anything, and then it drops again. And you get this failed break lower here. Maybe you take that. Just look how far we are away from the EMA. It looks like we got a little bit of an overshoot here too. So maybe you take that. It's a little late in the day and it's a little aggressive, but there's some reasons to consider that trade. And of course we make the high or low, but we don't. We tried 3 times to get back through there and we couldn't. So that's a little concerning. Otherwise, I probably would have made this blue. But if it breaks above that 3-bar matching high, which it'll have to trigger your trade, you're going to at least go back to the EMA. And there, if you've got room to scalp out there, maybe take that trade. So I marked it green because it is a little aggressive, but if you understand what's going on there, there's some reasons to take that trade. And you can see it turned out to be a really nice move. So I don't know if you probably wouldn't have got a runner on it, but all the same, it was a quick, easy scalp. It's just late in the day to be taking anything that's not almost 100% setup type trade. So there it is. Not a lot of trades today. Kind of weak. We had this nice move here without many opportunities on it. So unfortunately, you get some moves like that occasionally. You just have to ride. You just have to watch them go, and don't beat yourself up over it, because if you do, what'll happen is next time you see that, you'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna jump in this time. I remember what happened last time." And guess what happens when you jump in? The market goes a couple of ticks, turns on you, and you're stopped out, cold stop out with a big loss. And um, don't chase the market, and don't look back if you didn't take a trade because it wasn't a good setup, and you see all these big moves. Don't look back on it. It just, all that'll do is mess you up mentally and psychologically, and you'll struggle. So you'll struggle down the road from it. So don't do that to yourself. But anyway, there it is. Not much happening today. It's a shame, because really from just prior to 10 o'clock to right into 12 o'clock, that's a really nice move, and there's just not a good opportunity to get in it, unfortunately. And then the rest of it was just kind of sideways, choppy days. That was really the only good move of the day. We had a little bit of move here, but that was really the move of the day, and the rest of this stuff was just choppy, mixed trading from there and from here, and that was 90% of your day. And so this one move accounted for most all of that rally today, and it really was hard to get a piece of. Now your chart could have been a little different, and maybe there's a better setup than I had, and you could get in on it, but it wasn't easy. But at least not on my chart. So anyway, I think that's going to do it. I'm going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to wrap it up for the week. I'll see you Monday. It's going to be a real short week for me next week, and a real short week for chart lessons, because I'll only do one on Monday. Um, I'm going to take a week off there, and I'll be back the following week, and then should be around a couple of weeks. Then I'm going to take another week in May. I'm going to Alaska, and then I should be done traveling for a little bit. Anyway, um, I need this vacation too coming up next week. It works out good because of my surgery on my ear and all, and it give me a chance to get away and let this thing get healed up and kind of get an idea of where I'm going to be after that. So anyway, hope you had a good week. Hope you had a good trading day today. We'll be back Monday for a short week, but I'm done for today. I'm done for the week. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.